Okay, guys, this is the Angryprepper. Listen, I don't know why I said that. I'm fucking tired. Anyway, last night, for those of you that are here, you know why you're here. You're here to hear some of the either stories and things that happened uh, during last night, unexpected flooding or rainfall or both, however you want to look at it. All right, Malice, thank you for the 5x5. I appreciate it. Moon, Peter, Gardan, sorry. Thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it. Prepper Book Club, thank you. So, guys, last night was crazy. I have to say, I definitely enjoyed it. It was fun. A lot of the shit that happened was interesting. Now I know it wasn't fun for everybody. I know in some places in New York, it was pretty bad. I know that a family of three were killed during the flooding, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. I really am. I don't know how you can die. I get that you can die in the basement if you're like you're by the beach and the ocean comes up on you, but a lot of this, guys, this was like inland. This is like middle. A lot of this was middle territory of like the Bronx, Queens, even Manhattan. Wolf Mule, thank you for the donation. So some of the people that did pass away, I am really trying to figure out how they got in that position where they didn't survive. It's a little, I mean, not weird, but it's interesting to say the least that a lot of these people passed away. So anyway, guys, let's get to it. The All five boroughs were hit with remnants of Hurricane Ida. So by the time it hit us, they said it was a tropical storm. It might have been a little weaker than the tropical storm, but and when I mean weak, we're talking about in terms of wind condition, and wind speed. But the amount of rain it dumped on the tri-state area was insane. Was something we have never seen before. So it was pretty impressive. With that, guys, I thought it was the volume is low. Yeah, someone said turn it up. How's that now? Why is it low? Anyway, I will figure it out throughout the night. So give me a break. Try to uh, put your ear close to the computer. Anyway, with that, guys, hopefully that's better. So anyway, with that, it was a lot of interesting shit that went on. At least for the truck company I was in and the engine company that's in the firehouse with me. We saw some interesting shit. So that was again interesting. Now, the not that it's uninteresting, but the bad part about it is that as of right now, 25 people are dead in New York and New Jersey. I think it's actually up to 28 now. 11 people died in the city. That's in the five boroughs. Uh, After being trapped in their basement apartment, guys. Again, I don't know how you see water coming down these stairs and it gets to your ankle, and then before you know it, you're dead. Water was rushing in. Water was rushing in through the storm drains or the drains in that basement, through the tubs, through the toilet. It was backing up and flowing in. But I didn't know that it could be that fast where people got trapped and died. One person was found dead in the back of their car on the Grand Central Parkway. So, guys, for those of you that might not know what a parkway is, it sounds like what it is. It's a highway. So we found that to be, again, interesting. This is all right, guys. Give me 2 seconds to figure out what is going on with my mic tonight. Test, 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 test. I know that today a lot of things are being played hell on. I think it's because of the what you call it. What the hell's that called, guys? How about now? That's got to be a lot better. All right. John, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Hopefully that's better, guys. I know some of you guys are saying 5x5, but my sound bar was kind of low. Now it's up there, so it should be fine now. All right, guys. So sorry. Your mic is fine. Fear killed them. Brett, I listen. I don't know if it was that simple. I mean, I would hate to think it was that simple. That fear killed them. I don't know. I don't know. We in our response area, we didn't deal with anybody that was trapped to that point. There were people who had an absorbent amount of water in their apartment. So a lot of the basement apartments here in New York City flooded, right? As you can, from what I'm telling you, and guys, again, you don't have to believe me, but you can go ahead and read the shit yourself. Look up 25 people or 28 people dead in New York and New Jersey, and they'll give you a story with almost each of them, but not all of them, right? So again, guys, a guy was found dead in the back of his car. So I don't know at what point he drowned in his car, but he was in the back of his car nonetheless. So I guess the water got too high, he couldn't get out, and I guess he couldn't roll his window down. And this is why, again, guys, so now as far as getting stuck in a flood in your car, this is why you carry one of those glass punchers, right? Something to break the glass in your car so that this doesn't happen to you. So you don't end up in this situation where you're drowning in your own car because you don't have anything to break the fucking windows. And I'm only assuming that this guy was old enough to do so, or strong enough to do so. Sorry. So here's the kicker, guys. There was a family in Queens, right, that drowned in their basement apartment, including their 2-year-old. The father, I'm assuming was the father, was 50 years old, and the woman was 48. So at some point, they froze in fear, like Brett said, or they were trying to see if they can handle the situation on their own, and they got caught up, and before you knew it, the water was too high. Now, one person was killed in Westchester. That's further upstate from us, or further north from me here in New York City. One person was caught in a flash flood and was killed that way. So I guess he got swooped up by the water and taken down wherever the hell he was taken down. 12 people were killed in Garden State, which is New Jersey for a lot of you guys. That's including 4 people that were found dead in the same apartment complex. Now, they didn't say apartment, they said apartment complex. So I'm assuming these people were also in a basement apartment complex and got flooded. Again, guys, we watched. Okay, so before I get into what we went through at night, I'm trying to rattle this off. But there was one part of the night where we were faced with basement apartments, and we go down into the basement apartments rather, right? So the way this building was designed, guys, the building was designed for you to come in at the level, drop down into basement apartments, but they were really just first floor apartments that dropped below grade, and then to go back upstairs, you had to go to the stairway and then work your way up. The apartments on the first floor had water in the first place we went to up to our ankles. That was the first building. I'm going to get into it a little bit. But nonetheless, guys, these people saw the water coming in. Some people froze. Some people thought they could handle it, and they couldn't, and they wound up dying. Again, I don't know how you end up in that situation. I get the car. I get being swooped down the road, if you will, or the street by, raging water that you didn't see coming. But again, the apartment thing, I'm really stumped on, So I know for sort of like a quick story, but a guy in my firehouse almost bought it because he was trying to retrieve his stuff during Hurricane Sandy. And when they looked at the windows, they had a lot of water at them. So, with that, the windows failed and all the water came into his basement apartment and flooded his basement apartment out. And he almost, like I said, he almost died because another guy who's an ex-fireman had to go and get him to pull him out of the situation. Again, that's a little different because the windows failed and it caught him off guard. This was water backflowing through the toilets, the drains, the sinks, and things like that. So, yes, all right. Thank you, Angie. The wife's on tonight. Yes, people who have basement apartment, guys, it's an actual apartment. It's a legit apartment. Has a bathroom, has a kitchen, bedroom. It's livable, right? So it's not one of those shady fly by night, hook up basement apartments. It's a legit basement apartment, right? So, anyway, guys, still stumped on it. Now, there was a 70-year-old man who was swept away in his car in Passaic, New Jersey, and again, he was in his car, so I'm assuming his car started floating away. He couldn't open the door, and he wound up drowning. That's the only way I could think of that happening to him. And again, this is why you have one of those glass breaker guys. You break glass so that you don't end up in that situation. Now, some people will argue it's better to stay in your car and float down the stream or wherever it is, the street. But in some cases, that might not be a good choice. In some cases, you have to bail out. So you have to judge your situation when you're in it. You can't play the situation out in your head and go, "Well, I was floating down the street. I would have just punched the glass and swam to safety." No, you have to evaluate the situation as it's happening. This is the part of thinking on your feet when you're in a high-speed situation like this. And that is a high-speed situation. You have to think on your toes. You got to be like Johnny on the spot with the glass breaker. Do you break the glass and swim out of the car? Or do you stay in the car and see where it takes you? There are those two options. Me personally, I would rather break the glass and get out. Break the glass and try to get on top of the car. Ride it that way, right? Instead of being in the car. Just in case the car winds up sinking. Then now you're not in it, right? You could break the glass and take the ride. And there's a lot of options. But when you're in that situation, you have to, again, evaluate what's going on and make quick decisions in that situation. So it's not as easy as it sounds. I know a lot of people Monday morning quarterback, and they're like, "Well, I would have did this and I would have did that." And I'm saying the same shit with the people that, died in their basement apartments. I'm like, well, I would have fucking just bailed. But again, that's easier for me to say because I wasn't in that situation. So another person was also washed away in Westchester again, trying to leave their car. So the flash flood happened. They got out of the car, and the current, or if they're not the stream, the raging waters washed them down the road. Right? That's just what Again, guys, you have to assess the situation. You can't be. You're not. We are all not John Rambo. We are all not, Neo in the Matrix. Sometimes, guys, you have to weigh out your options of getting out of the car and being washed down the road, or staying in your car and seeing what happens next. Yes, Rap Trap 88. Right, rushing water is extremely strong, and that's the other thing too, guys. A lot of people will underestimate the rushing water. They'll get out of their car thinking, "Well, it's just fucking rainwater. How bad could it be?" And then you get out of the car, and guess what? You're fucking thinking, "I should have stayed in my car," as you're getting washed down the road. So again, a lot of the things that happen, guys, is split second decisions. You have to either stay and ride it out, or get out and try to swim out to safety. Or you see the signs developing, the bad signs developing, you bail the fuck out ASAP. Apocalypse car surfing. Yeah, guys, listen, whatever's going to get you to safety, right? Nothing is ironclad. It's nice to take those survival courses where they're like, they put you in a seatbelt and then they roll the car over in the water, or the car goes head first in the water, and then you got to figure out how to get out of that. That's still a controlled environment. Now, you took that training, you have some kind of a way to, how you're going to react in that situation. But now you're in an uncontrolled environment, which is outside in the real world. And sometimes the shit don't go according to plan. It's why you have to have backup moves, if you will, or execute backup moves in your head. So you're like, well, if this happens, I should be able to do this. If that happens, I'll do this. Well, if this happens and that doesn't happen, I'm going to do this. And that's how you have to think in that aspect of being in a situation like what happened yesterday. Yesterday caught everybody off guard, guys. Everybody. There's not one person I'm like, well, I saw that happening. If you said you saw that happening, you can eat a big fat dick, because you're lying to fucking everybody and yourself. No one saw that coming. The weathermen, who unfortunately, guys, we listen to like assholes, they didn't even see this coming. They knew we were going to get heavy rain. They didn't know we were going to fucking get washed, we were going to get washed down with water like that. The herd. No, I don't use Tough Phone. I actually don't even know what that is. Right, guys? So, yesterday again was one of those things, guys, where even as a prepper, we were caught off guard. We were caught off guard by this fucking this insane amount of rain, and this insane amount of rain happening here in New York City, and then watching the drains back up and not be able to handle the volume of water, and then watching people die. Not watching, but reading about people dying in their apartments, because the floodwaters came out places where it wasn't supposed to come out. So this, again, guys, created a giant problem. It was something unforeseen that nobody was ready for, but some people were ready for because they got the fuck out of Dodge. They said, oh, whoa, this water up to my fucking knees now, I'm out of here, right? Now, obviously, guys, you have to a certain point in time before you cannot open the doors anymore. Well, and furniture starts floating. I forgot what and how many feet of water, but furniture will start floating, if I'm not mistaken, in 4 feet of water, 3 feet of water. Depends on the furniture as well. Now that can start moving around and blocking your exit or entrance into something. I'll explain that in a little bit. So you got to keep that in mind, guys. If the water's starting to move fast, it's at your ankle, and then fucking 2 minutes later, it's at your knees. After it gets to your knees, it's time to leave. It's time to bail the fuck out of that situation. Don't stick around and see what you could do. Do not grab a pot and start fucking shoveling water out the window or some shit like that. Get the fuck out. So, again, guys, there's a lot of things to contend with and consider when you're in a situation like this that is unforeseen. A lot of people just didn't see this coming. You know, again, we saw the rain coming. We didn't see us fucking doing what we did last night. And I'm talking about the entire fire department was busy last night. The engine truck companies were rocking and rolling all fucking night with getting people out of their cars, looking for people in their apartments, moving cars off the road, moving tree limbs and shit off the road, getting people out of stock elevators. I mean, it was the whole gamut last night, guys. Everything that happened, everything that could have happened last night. With the exception of an alien attack and a zombie attack, it was all on the table last night. So, let's get back into it. Elsewhere, along the East Coast, guys, a 19-year-old man was found dead in a flooded apartment complex in Rockville, Maryland. And there were 3 other people found dead in Pennsylvania. One killed by a tree, one who drowned in a car, and another one in a home. Again, guys, people dying left and right. And the tree thing, that catches people every time there's a storm like this. It's almost amazing that we know there's a storm like this coming. We know that something like this is coming, and yet people choose to be outside and still get whacked in the head by a tree. I'm like, what the fuck? That is like one of the ways people are killed the most. Okie Rebel says, do you not track storms? Do you not track or watch radars? Okie Rebel, not everybody does that. Maybe in the prepper community, like a lot of us, first of all, firemen are not preppers, but we were watching the storm tracker, if you will, and the radar. We knew what was coming, how bad it was going to get. But that's us. That's us in the emergency service and the preparedness world. We do that, but not the rest of society does. Valentine, thank you. JW, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks. Debadu, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. So, guys, the whole getting hit by a tree, that still boggles my mind. I still don't understand that. I don't understand how you know a storm's coming, and that's the time you say, fuck, I forgot my hat in my car. And you go to your car and a tree hits you in the head. I don't understand that. It happens every fucking storm. Someone gets killed by a tree. And I get it, guys. Stupid people, stupid prizes, but I don't know. I don't understand it. To this day, I do not understand it. I'm in the woods camping. If I get hit by a fucking tree from a storm, all right, I had that coming to me. I was out there camping. But when you're out in the wood, when you're out in your home, and you decide at the last minute to go get fucking, tampons for your wife, and you get crushed by a fucking tree, that shit don't make any sense. You should have had all that shit squared away before the storm came, but whatever, Chris Langley, exactly. Put a axe in your attic or a chainsaw in your attic. One of the two, guys, so that you don't become trapped. Happened in Katrina. There were a lot of people who trapped in their attic and died in their attic. You had a chainsaw, you could have got out. Rescuers could have came and gotten you. because they can't hear you over the sound of the helicopter of you beating on the roof of your attic trying to get out or trying to get help. Right? It doesn't work that way. The sound of those choppers are fucking loud. So you're not going to get help that way. You're going to help yourself by getting yourself even a crowbar. If you can pry some of the what you call it off the roof. The hell is it called? 2x4s or whatever on the roof. You could pry that apart or beat that out. So be it. But I would say stick with a chainsaw and stick with an axe or even a maul. A maul will help just the same as well. Right, a maul it's a little more damage and takes a little more swinging power, but you're definitely going to not the shingles, right underneath the shingles, the not plywood either. Sorry, you guys, somebody will nail it. I guess it's like 2x4s underneath the shingles. But anyway, guys, subway, homes, and businesses yesterday were flooded. Clearly, right. Businesses are probably not going to open or probably weren't open today. Homes were wrecked by flood water, and subways were still shut down as of this afternoon. I don't know how much of it is running now. Rafters, thank you guys. Rafters, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I forgot that. All right, the rafters, guys. You break that up. You can break that with a maul. Again, that would take a lot or truss, depending on the construction. Thank you. Decking. All right, guys, appreciate it. Right, but a chainsaw, guys, or an axe, a chainsaw is a lot easier, especially if you're old or you have some kind of disability. I would go with a chainsaw. Keep that up there, right? You don't have to keep the chainsaw up there all the time, but when you know a storm's coming and you don't want to leave your home and the possibility of flooding is there, you would take the chainsaw up there with you, right? And try not to cut your legs off. So, there were also tornado warnings here in New York City, guys. Pretty interesting. I mean, we've had tornado warnings here in New York City before. It's not new, but it's not a regularly occurring thing. So it's a once-in-a-blue kind of deal. Nonetheless, we had a tornado, not hurricane, guys, tornado warning. We had a tornado touch down in Jersey. So that was pretty interesting. Never thought I would see a tornado in Jersey. That is right across the river from me, guys. Not saying that I would have seen that tornado anyway. It could have been like miles in. But never thought I would see video of a tornado. And I have video to show you guys what it looked like last night. For those of you that are not watching Twitter or Instagram or the news, I got some footage of what it looked like here in New York City. We're going to get to that in a little bit. So, okay. 200,000 people went without electricity or are without electricity in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, some of New York, as of early this morning. I don't know if they got their power back, but I'm pretty sure they did. I know that that's Louisiana, where they lost the power, and they might be losing power for a few months. That's insane. That's in Louisiana. I heard that yesterday or the day before yesterday. The FDR, Bronx River Parkway were also flooded, guys. The Metro North Railway, right? So that's the local commuter train, if you will, that travels between New York City and upstate New York. That looked like a river, right? So when you looked at it, you were like, when we first passed it, we saw water in it. By the end of the night, guys, you couldn't see anything. It just looked like a river and this railway. So that was pretty, that was interesting. Cars, guys, were stranded all over the city. Cars were actually floating at some points here in the city. That's how deep the water got. So it was, again, it was interesting to see this, guys, in the middle of the Bronx. Now, I work in the South Bronx, but there was a lot of water, guys. I mean, a lot. Even the fire truck had a problem getting through some spots of water because the chauffeur said that the water got up to the windshield when he was pushing through. Hey, Buren, man, thank you for joining me tonight. All right, so, guys, dozens of cars submerged, and again, some people died in those cars. It was one kid on the Grand Central Parkway, so, again, it can happen. A glass puncher will save your life. There are a lot of things, guys, that could save your ass in a situation, in a pinch, if you will. Now, there is another hurricane off the coast of somebody's asshole. I forgot where it was. I think is it called Hurricane Larry? Right? That's the one that's just forming off the coast of, I think it's Africa. The heading, it looks like that if it keeps its path, it might smack dab into New York. But in all honesty, in all realisticness, it'll probably just keep curving and I guess head straight for Greenland or whatever. Yeah, guys, there was no looting last night. Thank you for pointing that out, wife. There was no looting last night. It was just way too wet, way too dangerous, and people, the the looters, they don't like to get wet, guys. They like sugar cubes. They get water on them, they melt. So, um, no looting last night. Thank you, 300 Warriors, right? Larry. And it looks like, guys, the projected path for Larry, one of the projected paths, not the projected path, one of the projected path is headed straight for the tri-state area. So that's pretty interesting. And then, of course, dude, when you look at a hurricane projected path, guys, there's like millions, you know? Not millions, but there's a few, like there's like 20, 30 different paths it would take, right? And the path is like, the path looks like it's written by a fucking child, right? They're like, a little kid took a crayon and just said, ooh, and went across the screen. And the path is like, it can go in anybody's direction. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But when you think about it, guys, yes, that's what a hurricane could do. Hurricane could go in any one of those paths. So if it chooses one of the paths, they go, see, we were right. No, you weren't. You were guessing. Not the point. So, let's get into, well, before we get into my last night adventure, guys, this is why we prepare. We prepare for shit like this. And I said this earlier, I say it again. We are undoubtedly, in some point in our career, guys, going to get caught with our pants down. And last night was that night. Now, if you had a basement apartment and you were a prepper, your shit is wet, right? I won't say gone, I'd say wet. But some people, like I said, the water was up to their ankle, and other people, guys, the water in their apartment was up to their neck and or ceiling. Now, last night, one of the calls we went on, we wind up being in water up to our necks to look for a lady who wasn't there. I'm going to get more into that story in a little bit. But, guys, as far as being prepared goes, this is one of those case in points where you can be as prepared as you want to be or prepared as you're going to be, and you're still going to get caught by surprise, because we all got caught by surprise. There's nothing you could do with Mother Nature. Unfortunately, guys, Mother Nature's going to do what the fuck she wants to do. So she's not going to go according to your plan. She's not going to be like, okay, they're planning to do this, so let's go. No, she's going to do what the fuck she wants to do and catch people off guard. And caught a lot of people off guard. Caught the fire department off guard, caught the police department, EMS, sanitation, you name it, the people living in the apartment, the people floating in their apartment, caught everybody off guard, guys. So, again, always plan for the best. Well, plan for the worst, hope for the best, and adapt to whatever comes at you, if that makes sense. All right, guys, my mother is 79. No, I'm just kidding. She's 76 or 77 years old. She says she's never seen anything like this. As of right now, Tropical Storm Ida or Storm Ida, whatever the hell they're calling it, was worse than Sandy. In regards to the amount of rain that was dumped on the city, in regards to the amount of people that died, if I'm not mistaken, I think more people died in New York City in this one than Sandy. This was something, guys, we have never ever seen, ever. And according to the weather people who are always wrong, according to them, this was the first storm in recorded history in 200 years that flooded New York City the way it did. So, there was that. Now, guys, let's get into my what happened last night. At least with the fire department. I can't speak too much on the police department. I can speak on the fire department and the shit that we dealt with last night. Now, last night we were running our asses off like anything else, guys. We run our asses off, and there's one call we go on. Lady says that the water's up to her neck. Keep in mind, guys, the 9/11 system was flooded last night. There was no getting through. That's the other reason why you get prepared, guys. And a lot of you that live in gun-friendly countries, the states rather, this is why you get prepared, because the 9/11 system was all but shut down. It wasn't taking calls. It was an automated voice on the other end telling them to either call back later or something to that effect. That's what I heard from people who were calling us. So when we got to this one call, they said that there was water up to their necks and that they were trapped. We get there, the first lady meets us, and she's screaming, the water's in my apartment, I don't know what to do, we have a baby, and she threw all the shit at us. So we get off the rig, we go to her apartment, the water's up to her ankles. Now, yes, that is bad, guys. Water up to your ankles is bad in your apartment, because water does not belong in your apartment, other than the sink and the tub. So with that, she starts panicking and flipping out, and we're telling her there's nothing we can do. The water's coming out of your tub and out of your toilet. We cannot do anything about it. And she flipped out. And then her husband or boyfriend, whoever it was, calmed her down, and, she got a hold of herself. But, it was almost like that scene in Airplane where the lady was flipping out and you were going to shake her and smack her. Knock it off, lady. Fucking, toughen up a little bit, please. So that in itself was a very interesting interaction. So the boyfriend got control of her, and she sort of calmed down. So now we go to see a guy who is in another apartment. So the apartment this guy's in, guys, you have to go down a set of stairs and then back up a set of stairs just to go to his apartment, which is off to the right. So we go down a set of stairs, and now the water's up to my waist. And I'm like, shit, right? So me and another guy, we make our way to the apartment. We knock on the door. The guy opens his door, and the water rushes in. And we're like, no, close the door. And we're asking him, now my partner's asking him all these questions through the door. And he's like, he's fine. He didn't call us. He was good. So we tread back through the water. And we continue doing what we're doing. So now we go down the hall, and guys, again, now the water's up to the ankle, about shin level, and we get down to the end of the hall. We're knocking on doors, making sure everybody's okay. Everybody's in their apartments, flooded. And so with that, guys, we move out of that building. So that's the first building of the complexes we're in. We move to the next building. Now the water's up to their waist. In that same level, basement level apartments, is up to the waist. So now we're in that building. We go down there and to make sure everybody's out, and everybody's out. Everybody in those basement apartments are out. They're hanging out in the lobby area. We're telling them you should find somewhere to go for the night. Call Red Cross, even though Red Cross was crushed. So now we move to the next building. Now the next building, there are cops in there. Now cops are trying to, get people out of there. And there's a cop with hopefully this is it. This cop here has a life ring, and they're trying to get people out, and they're doing a search up and down the hallway here. And now, for the most part, everybody's out. By the time we get there, most people are out. So with that, we move on. We move to the next apartment. Not the next apartment, next building. Right, guys? So again, during the course of this, it was just insane. And this is in a building that we've gone into 1,000 times. 1,000 times and never had this problem. But now here it is, right? Water backing up through the drains. Now, I'm trying to see. Nope, not that one. This here is now where we go to the next building. Sorry about that, guys. This is the next building we're in, right? So this is my other partner. We have to force that door in front of us to get inside the apartment. Now, the picture was snapped. I follow behind him, and now we get to the door, and the water's up to our necks, right? That is not a flotation device. Actually, that's a search rope, but the search rope wasn't needed, right? So, with that, guys, now we force this door. So this is the last building in that line. Now we force this door because we're told there's an old lady in there who is wheelchair bound, and she wasn't answering her phone. So again, we're forcing the door. My buddy here, my partner, he's forcing the door, and as he's forcing it, he's going, I can't believe we're doing this shit in 5 feet of water. So anyway, he's forcing it. He gets the door. We get inside. Now, when you get inside, now you're pushing the door. The amount of weight behind the door is insane because of the water. So we get behind the door, and we get into the apartment. Now all her furniture is floating around. All her furniture is floating around, and now we have to make our way through it slowly so that we don't fall face first into it, though at this point it don't matter. And now we're doing a search. Now I'm doing a search with my feet making sure that she's not in the water, like underneath. And my partner's doing a search up top, meaning he's looking at everything above the water line to make sure she's not floating on a piece of furniture or some shit, or her head sticking out of the water, something like that. So now we're walking through slowly. We get to the back bedroom, and her beds are floating. So we have to make our way around the bed because the mattress is floating and the frame's floating. And to get around it, you have to squeeze between the wall and the bed frame and the mattress. Susan, thank you for the donation, guys. With that, we come back out. We search the bathroom. When my partner searches the bathroom, he opens the curtain to make sure she's not taking a shower for whatever reason. And so she's not in there. We go into the next bedroom. We do a search. Again, I'm still dragging my feet around, hoping to God I don't kick anything up that looks like a body. But nonetheless, that's how I was doing that search because you couldn't see in that muck. So with that, guys, we're moving around, and we get to the midpoint of the hallway, and then it dawns on me, guys. It fucking dawned on me. Her wheelchair wasn't in the apartment, and then that's when I was like, shit, she's not here. So we make our way back slowly, just in case, still doing the same thing, and we get to the living room area. And dude, her fridge, by the way, guys, I look over, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Her fridge is upside down and floating. Now, the whole time I'm thinking, this is some shit that they do like in flood country. They did in Katrina. Not in the South Bronx. That is the crazy shit about this whole story. This is in the South Bronx, guys. And this was like some shit that, again, I've never, ever seen. There are firemen who've been on this job probably 20, 30 years and never seen anything like this. Deborah Dude, thank you for the donation. So with that, guys, we wind up getting, again, water's up to our neck. We're just praying to God that nothing splashes in our eyes or our mouth at this point because the water is contaminated. It's probably mixed with sewage. And we're just trying our best not to fall face first. So anyway, we get out of there. And with that, bunker gear, guys, becomes very, very heavy when it's soaking wet. And bunker gear gets extremely heavy when the water is in your boots. So as we got out of the water, it felt like someone had 10-pound bags of weights on us, additional. A grow god, yes, is shit water, right? So again, we were in contaminated water looking for a lady who wasn't there. So when we get out of the situation, we find out that the lady went to her family. So that would have been a great piece of information to know before we went in there looking for her. Because, guys, we were looking for her, and at some point, I was like, man, is she going to be floating on one of those mattresses, just like really still and not moving, and, you know, like, and saying, help, 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 because I thought we were going to find her on a mattress. Then when we didn't find her on the mattress, I was praying that we didn't find her in the water. Nonetheless, she wasn't in the apartment, and that was that with that story, guys. It was pretty horrendous, and not horrendous, but it was interesting because all the while I'm like, yo, this is the South fucking Bronx. This is what I kept repeating to myself. This is the South Bronx. How the fuck does this happen? Well, because the storm backed up the drains and backed up in everyone's apartments, right? So, guys, it's just it was just interesting. And again, being in a lady's apartment with all the furniture floating around, the first thing I started thinking is, well, what if one of these pieces of furniture closes the door on us and it continues to flood? We thought about that. We spoke about it like really quickly, and it was just like, fuck it. We'll deal with it if it happens. And then another buddy of ours jumped in the water and came and did a search in the living room while we were in the back. I forgot to add him into it. But we were definitely in sewage water or a mixture of sewage. And listen, guys, once there's sewage water involved, it's sewage water. I can't believe I said it's a mix. Once you got sewage water involved, it's a wrap, you know. I just hope I don't grow an extra nipple or my dick doesn't fall off. Because that's where we're at right now. We're all praying to God that we don't grow mold somewhere, some shit like that. But, again, guys, in the city now we're talking about firemen in the city. They were in waist-deep water, getting people trapped out of their cars, all right? They were sitting there all night, running all night, getting people out of their cars, going to the subway, getting people out of the train. I mean, guys, it was one of the busiest nights I've ever seen in the fire department, like ever. And a lot of you are probably going to say, this is why you should leave New York. Yeah. the flooding thing was just insane, and the amount of calls we went on for that was just something we've never seen, and we were all caught off guard, and there wasn't much to do. Even if we were prepared for it, I'm not sure there was much to do. Converse friends, no, my phone's not in a Ziploc bag. The phone's waterproof, so I don't have to worry about it. You know, old phones, yeah, you need to put it in a Ziploc bag, but no. Okay, Boomer. Hey, listen, you would think that people would be like, there were a lot of cars on the road. First of all, like when the rain started picking up, and these pockets of water turned into a fucking lake. That was at some point in time, people should have been like, yo, I'm going home. But instead, they thought they were going to power through that fucking lake, and that's why their car got stranded. Greg, thank you for the donation. Right, guys? So it was just a bit of it was a cool experience in one aspect. I thought it was something to be learned. There was a lot of lessons to be learned in that one situation that I hope never happens again. But unfortunately, guys, it will happen again. That's the unfortunate part about this whole thing. Right? So, trying to see what other pictures I got for you guys. Oh, I'll show you a couple pictures later, but I'm going to show you some videos now because we got 20 minutes left. I'm fucking tired. I do want to end this at the hour mark, but let me see what I can pull up for you guys. So we're going to do a mixture, all right? This first video is the rig powering through water during the storm. All right, guys, so that was, again, that is normally, Mom, thank you for the donation. You don't have to. Thank you, Mom. Guys, that is, and yes, guys, that's my mother, Martha Charles. That's a street, guys, that, again, doesn't flood. I mean, we've had bad rainstorms, and I've never seen that street get that bad. Again, that was pretty insane. Now, this video here is the same thing. But now you can see in this part of the street, the water's a little deeper, so the water's going over the front of a cab. Right, guys, so you saw that. You saw the water running over the front of the cab. That was a deeper part. There was actually a cop car there that was stopping cars from going in. But guess what? People didn't listen. People didn't give a fuck, and boom. Their cars went in there like the cab and got stranded. So that was that. Again, guys, interesting night. This was one of the buildings that had the flooding that I was talking about in the beginning. This is the hall. ICU, thank you for the donation. Guys, so you saw the amount of water. That's what people were dealing with in this building. Now, there was a building in Brooklyn where the water was up to the doorknob. The doorknob, guys. So basement apartment up to the doorknob. Your apartment's pretty much fucked, especially if you got sewage water in there. This is, and it's renders everybody's shit garbage now. You have to throw it away. The bunker gear we have has to be written for decontamination. Has to be decontaminated now. We have to fucking hand out shit in, right? So, and that's not like we wanted to lose our shit. Yeah, right? You could say it looked like the Titanic. So, guys, everybody who had this floating in their apartment, their shit's contaminated. It's got to be tossed. Everything. The couch, the fucking wall unit, whatever it is, it's all got to go. And not to mention, if you have a carpet or some shit, which You shouldn't have a carpet in 2021, but if you do, now you got to rip the carpet up and get rid of it, right? So, again, smaller problem to, I guess, contend with that amount of water. Even that amount of water, guys, wrecked people's shit. Never mind the water being up to your neck or the doorknob level. It fucked people's shit up. Now this video, this is the walkway I was telling you about, where you had to step into the water. Then it wound up being waist deep. So, guys, that's the flooding we contended. Again, in the middle of the Bronx. Just some crazy shit. Again, and like I said before, it's going to happen again. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen again. But we have to... my apartment was ruined. Crazy backyard chicken man. Your apartment was ruined? Sorry to hear that. And guys, there are some fucking... If you go on Twitter or Instagram, you're going to see some crazier videos on it. Some really crazy videos. Now, I'm just showing you this because this is what we were dealing with last night. So, obviously, I'm not going to show you people's apartments, any crazy shit like that, but I can show you public areas where that's where they were getting floods or flooding. And, again, apartments further down, the water was higher, right? So, it was a pretty interesting night, to say the least. But let's talk about some of the things that were happening in the subway. Now, the subway guys were flooding, or flooded. This flooding, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I'm not sure what it is, but water's coming, looks like, out of the ground. Terry, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Big Sky, thank you for the donation. ICU, thank you for the donation. And again, Mom, thank you for the donation. Guys, so you saw that massive amount of water coming through. I'm like, where the fuck was that coming from? You know, like, I mean, that was coming from under the ground. Not like it was coming from a grate above. It was coming from underneath. That was a very interesting video. That video's been circulating all over the internet. Again, that was 28th Street and 7th Avenue. I forgot what line that is. 7th Avenue. That might be the 1 train, if I'm not mistaken, or the A train. Might be the A. Or, yeah, it might be the A train. Sorry. So anyway, guys, Tab P, thank you for the donation, guys. That was an interesting one. Then you have this. Not sure what station this is, but let me show you what it is. It's a train going through a cascade of water. So, as you can see there, the train was taking a beating. Now, the rest of the video shows this train pulling off and the fucking water going everywhere, but you get the point, right? Again, guys, crazy night last night involving flooding. And the fact that, 25 people or 28 people between New York and New Jersey died, that's insane. That is insane. And a lot of them died in basement apartments. Julie F., thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks. Here's for the bleach so you don't grow. Thank you. I will definitely use... Guys, I'm going to tell you something last night. I took a shower and I was scrubbing harder than I ever scrubbed before. So, hopefully that helps. Hopefully I don't grow a third nipple, because that would suck. But, last video I'm going to show you guys is a tornado in New Jersey. I never thought in a million years I would see a tornado in New Jersey. Now, I would love to see a tornado in person, like eyes on, and not a video. But the fact, guys, that it happen again in a state over is insane. Uh, watch this video. So it looked like the tornado was going to split, right, guys? But anyway, that's in New Jersey. And there were a couple of tornadoes in New Jersey. It wasn't just one, there was a few of them. So I think that was interesting for those people there. But a lot of people lost their homes because of this tornado. Now, I don't know, guys, if homeowner insurance in New Jersey would cover tornado damages or an act of God, I guess. I'm not sure how that works because they don't live in tornado country. Right, people in Kansas see tornadoes all the time, or out in the Midwest countries, you see tornadoes all the time. But we don't see tornadoes all the time here. So that's pretty interesting. Blue Rose, thank you for the donation. Also, guys, while I have your attention, can you do me a favor? Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever makes you happy. We got 10 thumbs down tonight. Thought I would do a little better than that. You trolls are letting me down. But anyway, not the point. The point is, guys, is that so now, after watching all of this, guys, what could we get out of this? There's a lot that could be said. There's a lot that should be reevaluated now, right? You got tornadoes in New Jersey, so now you might want to reevaluate your prepping for tornadoes. Now, I know a lot of places don't have those storm cellars, so they're going to have to come up with an alternative means of protecting themselves from tornadoes if it happens again or becomes a reoccurring thing. If flooding becomes a reoccurring thing, I think people should stay off the road. That's step one. Step two, if you can't stay off the road and you have to be off the road, you should definitely have a glass breaker of some kind in the car, along with a get home bag or a get out of Dodge bag or some kind of bag with survival gear in it and dry clothes. If you're going to keep dry clothes in that bag, guys, and you're contending with this kind of flooding, put your clothes, your dry clothes that is, in a dry bag, along with rain suit of some kind, a raincoat or something like that, right? And put that in a dry bag as well, so that your clothes are dry and your gear are dry, so that if you're in this situation like people were last night, you can use this dry bag to get yourself out of the situation. Hopefully that helps, and hopefully that makes sense. But guys, the city last night was on fire with water. If that makes sense. I mean, again, never seen anything like it. Never seen. It was just a very interesting night. So, guys, this footage, I'm not sure where this is from. This is from New York, but I'm not sure if this is Queens or Brooklyn. So as you can see, guys, those cars were completely submerged in the water. Again, something that you will never. I don't want to say we'll never see it again, because I'm pretty sure if I say that, we're going to jinx it, especially if that tornado makes its move. But guys, again, being prepared, it's a little beyond gear, because gear wasn't going to help you so much in this, other than a glass puncher, some dry clothes, and a get home bag. Being caught off guard, a lot of people were. If anybody in those apartments were preppers, they lost a lot of their shit, right, due to contaminated water. Be Charming, I don't know how the water levels were. We're assuming that they drained, because it all came down to the drain wasn't able to handle the load of water or the volume of water that was going in. That's why I started backing up. But I'm going to tell you something. The next morning, the first two videos I showed you where we were trudging through water with the rig, the water was gone. It was like the shit never happened, right? So in that aspect, the water on the street was gone. But the water in the apartments, I'm pretty sure some of it's still there, but I'm pretty sure the level of water also came down. So again, guys, something that we need to consider if this happens again. Now, yes, this could be a fluke. This could be a one-off. This could be the last time we ever see something like this. That very well may be true. But The fact that it happened means it will happen again, but will it happen next year? Will it happen next month? Will it happen fucking, I don't know, 8, 10, 20 years from now? We don't know. Spooky cakes. Yes, I live in an apartment, and the apartment last night was flooding. Not flooding, but a lot of water. There was a lot of water last night in the apartment coming through the brick wall from the outside, and the neighbors upstairs, they were getting water as well, and they probably weren't cleaning it up fast enough, and we got residual water downstairs. So the wife was cleaning up leaks all night, and I was taking a swim in people's apartments. So everyone in the city looks like they had a shitty night, for the most part. So, guys, with that being said, the next morning we wake up, and again, the streets were clean. It was as if it never happened. It was just, strange. Not strange, but we sort of knew that was going to happen because we knew why it was happening, right? Again, we should definitely be more prepared and more aware of situations like this. Bunmaster, rats. Yeah, we didn't see too many rats. There was a lady a tree went into her house last night, and it was leaning on her house. So it didn't crash through anything, but the tree hit her house and is leaning on the house. There was a big ass rat that the boss kicked out of the way. But other than that, we didn't see an abundance. I thought when we were in that lady's apartment, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I fucking saw a rat, I was gonna fucking scream and then choke it the fuck out. Those are the two things that were gonna happen with that rat if I ran into it in the water. I wasn't having that shit. I don't want a rat swimming next to me, by my head, or anything like that. We were gonna get into a fucking fist fight and roll around in that water if I ran into a fucking rat in that apartment. I don't play that shit with rats, man. That and water bugs, I'm out on. But nonetheless, and bed bugs, forget it, man. I see a bed bug or a mattress out, here in New York City, guys. When you have a mattress with bed bugs, the mattress doesn't matter whether it has bed bugs or not. The mattress has to be wrapped in plastic. I see a fucking mattress, I start flipping the fuck out. I'm like, nope, I'm not going over there. Fuck that. I don't want to. Bed bugs crawling on me. I don't want to have fist fight with rats, and I don't want to have a fucking stomping match with roaches. All right. And the crazy shit is, you deal with it when it happens, and it's like me talking shit is I'm talking shit now. When we're faced with it, it comes and goes. You see the rat, you move around it, you do what you got to do. But I'm telling you right now, guys, fucking, yeah, fisticuffs with a fucking rat. Shit's real. Because the rats in the Bronx are fucking huge. Ginormous. They're like mini dogs. It's insane how big they can get up here. So, yeah, rats be chilling with us in the water. No thank you. No thank you. But anyway, guys, that being said, thank you for joining me tonight. I only wanted to do this video because I want you guys to see what as firemen we go through with shit like this, and how all of us, the entire city, adapted last night. Cops, firemen, EMTs, we all adapted last night, and we made it happen. We made it work, right? We're not going to sit here and thank de Blasio, because there's no thanks to him. He was hiding in his home. The rest of us were out there getting our asses handed to us and doing what we do fucking best, our fucking jobs. And so for every guy that was at working and every chick that was working last night, every fireman, cop, EMT, they did an awesome fucking job doing what we do. Everybody was spot on last night. And everybody jumped into waters and saved people they didn't have to do, but they did it anyway, because that's what fucking New York City does. At least the New York City employees. We save hipsters and we beat up rats. That's what we do for a living. All right, guys. So, other than that, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Thank you for the donation, guys. Mods, thank you for doing what you guys do. Mom, thank you again. I know Quentin's watching. Quentin, thank you for the backdrop. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.